Boom! Xuan Wuji's spiritual body surged, and waves of terrifying reincarnation aura poured out from his body like a torrential river, instantly covering the entire night sky with a layer of sparkling white mist. Anyone who came into contact with it felt their fighting energy and core tremble in an eerie manner, as if they might shatter at any moment. I have the blessing of a divine artifact. You are no match for me. Bring your domain lord out. Holding the heaven-destroying king's disc, Xuan Wuji unleashed rings of golden light that scattered through the air, filling the heavens and earth with a profound silence. It seemed as though under this power, countless beings would quietly perish. This was his confidence. With the so-called divine artifact, the heaven-destroying king's disc in hand, he was fearless even when facing a true third-tier reincarnation expert. Humph! However, Xuan'er did not take action. Instead, she released a circle of reincarnation energy to neutralize his attack. The reason was that behind them, a familiar aura was rapidly approaching. If you insist on being so uncooperative, don't blame me. After speaking, Xuan Wuji's spiritual body ascended into the air, golden light surrounding him like a blinding sun. He charged straight toward the headquarters of the Boundless Fire Domain below. That terrifying attack could shatter the souls of any ordinary reincarnation experts. Such a force was beyond the reach of even regular second-tier reincarnation experts, suggesting that Xuan Wuji had come prepared. Elder Wind, that's the headquarters below? Xiao Yan and the others hurriedly spoke up. They could clearly sense the destructive power contained within the golden sun, and if it fell, it would likely obliterate their vast foundation in an instant. Don't worry. Xuan'er gently shook her head, her gaze focused on the twisted region in the starry sky. There, a glimmering glass-colored flame flickered in and out of sight. The moment it appeared, even her own reincarnation energy emitted a trembling wave. That glass-colored flame made even a third-tier reincarnation expert like Xuan'er feel a deep sense of dread. As expected of the mystic region, such a level of attack is truly horrifying. However, this is where it ends. In the vast starry sky, a glowing glass-colored arm suddenly reached out from the distorted void. Without hearing a sound, the massive sun filled with reincarnation energy, like a great sun, was seized by that arm. In front of everyone's astonished gaze, the arm squeezed gently, and in an instant, the sun shattered into wisps of white mist and completely vanished. The terrible power contained within the energy sun didn't even have time to respond before it was completely annihilated. Who is it? Xuan Wuji's pupils contracted slightly, his gaze locking onto the glass-colored arm. From it, he could distinctly sense an immense power that caused his soul to tremble. Boundless Fire Domain. Retracting his hand, Xiao Yan and Xun'er appeared in front of everyone, both speaking in unison, their voices filled with undeniable authority. The Domain Lord of the Boundless Fire Domain? From the news we've gathered, this person is indeed incredibly powerful, but even at his peak, he could only rival a perfect 8-star Docian. His true strength is only at the mid-8-star Docian stage. How could he possibly block Master's terrifying attack? Xuan Wuji's subordinate, Xin Fengzi, looked at Xiao Yan in disbelief. From what he had just seen, there was no way Xiao Yan could be just an 8-star Docian expert. I didn't expect you to have already entered reincarnation. That's truly surprising. However, this won't change the situation for the Boundless Fire Domain. Xuan Wuji's face twisted into a mocking expression as he looked at Xiao Yan. As long as he defeated Xiao Yan and then used the Heaven-Destroying King's disc to defeat Xuan'er, this would be their domain, the Mystic Region's territory. The Boundless Fire Domain had long been coveted by countless powerhouses. Unfortunately, those fools always believed that it was backed by powerful beings from the Ghost Realm, which deterred them from acting. But now that the Mystic Region had made its move, they had no more reason to hold back. Old fool. Xiao Yan's body slightly trembled, then he spoke indifferently. The flame mantra within him began to circulate, causing a solemn atmosphere to stir throughout the starry sky. Still talking tough when death is upon you. Prepare to die. A brown energy surged within Xuan Wuji's body, and a vast reincarnation power instantly covered the entire starry sky. The invisible pressure of reincarnation radiating from him made countless people feel a reverence, as if they were about to kneel in worship. This feeling stemmed from the absolute suppression of power. Clearly, after Xiao Yan's previous actions, Xuan Wuji had stopped holding back and was now unleashing the power of his near second-tier reincarnation level to quickly end the battle. The way we do things in the Boundless Fire Domain has always been like this. Watching Xuan Wuji's actions, Xiao Yan's arrogant voice echoed, his overwhelming soul power surging forth and instantly clashing with Xuan Wuji. Insignificant pests, die here under my power. Xuan Wuji's body churned as the blue aura of reincarnation blossomed like fireworks, standing out vividly in the starry sky. Holy Flame Fire Domain. Seeing Xuan Wuji's display, Xiao Yan's smile turned cold. He suddenly formed a series of hand seals before his chest, unleashing countless powerful soul-infused handprints. As the handprints formed, Xiao Yan's soul power and sacred flame rapidly coalesced. With a single breath, they transformed into a soul fire phoenix in the vast starry sky. The phoenix was adorned with translucent, glazed feathers that shimmered with a mysterious ancient power. Its wings gently flapped, causing the entire starry sky to twist, even as fiery patterns scorched the void, creating cracks in the sky. Whoosh whoosh. Late Essence Transformation Stage Soul Power? Holy Flame. In an instant, Xuan Wuji felt the soul fire phoenix staring coldly at him from the sky, and his soul trembled with an overwhelming sense of danger. A chill ran down his spine as though his very existence might be obliterated by Xiao Yan's strike. This soul fire phoenix was the result of Xiao Yan using his late essence transformation stage soul power and 5 kinds of sacred flames. Even the simplest usage contained ghost-faced soul flame, which was powerful enough to devour their soul bodies entirely. Think you can escape? Stay here forever. Go! As Xuan Wuji's starry surroundings seemed to twist, hinting at the presence of immense spatial portals, Xiao Yan raised his hand, sneering coldly. Boom! With Xiao Yan's command, the soul fire phoenix let out a loud cry, its piercing phoenix call reverberating through the starry sky. Countless glazed fire feathers scattered in all directions, and wherever they went, the void was immediately imprisoned. At this moment, deep within the starry sky, powerful hidden forces began to stir noticeably. Vroom vroom. The night sky in the Boundless Fire Domain darkened as layers of dark clouds gathered. The soul fire phoenix vibrated and moved, and an immense, boundless pressure surged from its center, creating dimensional storms that spread throughout the area. Heaven-destroying King's Disk. Way of Space. Feeling the terrifying power emanating from the approaching soul fire phoenix, Xuan Wuji's aging face tightened. He couldn't help but think, how could Xiao Yan's soul power have grown this strong? Both of their soul powers belonged to the late essence transformation stage, but the gap between them was like an insurmountable chasm. With no choice, Xuan Wuji summoned his divine artifact, the heaven-destroying King's Disk, and hurled it into the vast sky, attempting to resist the fury of the soul fire phoenix. Xiao Yan, with just his soul power and sacred flame, is now stronger than most second-tier reincarnation stage experts, Xun'er observed, retreating to the side. She watched the tense confrontation with a faint smile. Boom! Boundless soul power surged from the artifact, sending shivers down the spines of countless strong beings in its path. At almost the same moment, the massive heaven-destroying King's Disk collided with the soul fire phoenix. The invisible soul power rippled out like waves on a lake, and every tree and blade of grass in the Boundless Fire Domain appeared clearly in Xiao Yan and Xuan Wuji's minds. Impossible? Not only is there a reincarnation expert here in the Boundless Fire Domain, Xuan Wuji's brows furrowed in disbelief. His heart filled with a strong sense of unease as he looked up at the point where their attacks clashed. Crack! Moments later, the clear cry of the soul fire phoenix shattered the heaven-destroying King's Disk into pieces. The night sky returned to calm, but within the faintly glowing stars, countless traces of soul energy seemed to linger. Run! Defeated, Xuan Wuji didn't hesitate. His soul power surged again as the heaven-destroying King's Disk was summoned once more. The void distorted slightly as immense spatial power radiated in front of him, seemingly preparing for an escape. "Since you're here, you shall stay." Xiao Yan chuckled softly. His soul power and sacred flame poured out without reserve, surrounding the starry night in layers of radiant energy, trapping all the energy within. Under Xiao Yan's overwhelming power, Xuan Wuji and his companion felt an inexplicable sense of insignificance. In the face of Xiao Yan's two formidable powers, they found no way to escape. The retreat of Xuan Wuji and his companion was blocked, and they immediately looked at Xiao Yan with pale faces. With his vast experience, Xuan Wuji could easily tell that Xiao Yan was deliberately stalling for time, seemingly waiting for something. "Gentlemen, please reveal yourselves." Xiao Yan ignored Xuan Wuji's cries, his tone indifferent as he gazed at the starry sky. "He, the domain lord of the Boundless Fire Domain, truly lives up to his reputation," a voice rang out. "But I wonder if this young friend would be willing to temporarily spare Xuan Wuji and his disciple for my sake? After all, if the spiritual bodies suffer any damage, it will inevitably affect their true forms. With the current state of crisis in the Great Thousand Worlds, the domain lord of the Fire Domain surely wouldn't make such a foolish decision, would he?" As soon as Xiao Yan finished speaking, spiritual energy filled the starry night sky, slowly taking form. Several powerful figures simultaneously appeared. Fire God Sect Master Hua Tianhin, Wind and Thunder Hall Master Feng Qingyang, Heavenly Mystery Alliance Master Tianimo. What a grand lineup! Feng Wan'er, Han Tianhao, and the others immediately recognized the identities of the three spiritual entities and couldn't help but speak out. These three forces, along with the mystic region, were far stronger and more deep-rooted than the Boundless Fire Domain. The four of them were some of the most renowned factions in the human realm. "Spare them?" Xiao Yan sneered. "Just you three spiritual entities are not worthy. The Boundless Fire Domain is not some soft target to be bullied." Xiao Yan's smile gradually turned bloodthirsty and insane. "Kid, you dare." Sensing the tangible killing intent, Xuan Wuji and his disciple broke into a cold sweat. The four forces had united to attack the Boundless Fire Domain, hoping to seize this land for themselves. To avoid interference from the Realm Guardians and the Central Human Realm, they had used spiritual entities to cross the void and attempt to assassinate the higher-ups of the Boundless Fire Domain. However, any loss of a spiritual entity was highly dangerous for them. Crack! With a snap of his fingers, Xiao Yan shattered the spiritual bodies of Xuan Wuji and his disciple, whose souls, empowered by their late-stage essence transformation power and the ethereal sacred flame, were unable to resist. Without their true forms, they posed no threat to Xiao Yan. Thud! At the same time, in a distant palace within the mystic region, Xuan Wuji and his disciple, who had been meditating, suddenly trembled. They vomited a mouthful of fresh blood, their breaths chaotic and disordered. Clearly, Xiao Yan's actions had shaken the very foundation of their existence. Unless they received a major opportunity, it would be hard for them to break through again in the future. Mad little brat! Tian Mo's eyes flared as he stepped forward. A massive aura of spatial power surged, as though it could crush this entire world. "The Boundless Fire Domain will not tolerate you pests running rampant. Since you dare to come here, be prepared to pay the price in blood." Xiao Yan chuckled coldly. Behind him, 5 ancient symbols flickered, burning with an ancient and mysterious flame capable of incinerating all things. Thud. Holy flame. No, this fluctuation, is it the sacred inscription? How is this possible? At that moment, the remaining 3 spiritual entities stood frozen, their hearts filled with the aura of death. They stared at the 5 sacred inscriptions behind Xiao Yan. The power of sacred flames was amplified countless times within the cycle of reincarnation, and the strength of the sacred inscriptions was virtually limitless. Crack! The 5 sacred inscriptions surged forward, effortlessly wrapping around the 3 powerful figures. The 3 were unable to react and completely disappeared. Naturally, their fate was the same as Xuan Wuji's. This is the consequence of coveting our Boundless Fire Domain. Any objections? The Domain Lord is always ready. Xiao Yan stood tall and proud. his peak reincarnation stage power radiating without a doubt. His voice, like an ancient bell, echoed across the heavens and earth. With Xiao Yan's display, the other forces eyeing this continent were forced to retreat. The starry night sky soon returned to normal. This kid, his growth rate is truly astonishing. Many powerful figures from the Void Realm, including the Fire Spirit Clan's Grand Elder, the Soul Devourer Lord of the Soul-Devouring Domain, and the Demon Emperor of the Demon Realm, watched quietly from afar. They all sighed in relief. Xiao Yan had fully grown. He was no longer the weak man he had once been. A true domain lord, Xiao Yan of the Boundless Fire Domain, had earned his title. With the conclusion of this public demonstration, the influence of the Boundless Fire Domain within the human realm began to grow stronger. Rumors spread, and no one dared to underestimate this rising force. Not to mention the several powerful figures behind supporting this force. Just the strength of Xiao Yan, the domain lord of the Boundless Fire Domain, is likely enough to overwhelm ordinary second-tier reincarnation stage cultivators. Time passed quietly. Although Xiao Yan had sent many powerful individuals to probe into matters concerning the Phoenix tribe, the Dragon Clan, and the central regions of the Demon Realm, progress had been slow. After all, these forces were true behemoths in the Great Thousand Worlds, far beyond the reach of mere human realm factions. Soon, the time for the Plane Conference arrived. The Plane Conference was an exclusive gathering for the human realm. Countless geniuses and the descendants of great powers would assemble to discuss the current situation of the Great Thousand Worlds. There might be some competitive events, but it was primarily the best opportunity for the younger generation to showcase their strength. In front of the main entrance to the Matriarch Hall of the Boundless Fire Domain, Xiao Yan stood quietly. From here, he could overlook the entire Boundless Fire Domain. Xiao Yan's gaze was slightly deep as he looked up at the ever-expanding domain. A look of satisfaction appeared on his face. A messenger from the Great Thousand Alliance has arrived. A graceful figure, twisting like a water snake, silently emerged from the Matriarch Hall. In her slender hand, she held a golden scroll, quite extraordinary. The golden scroll was inscribed with the words, Great Thousand Alliance, written in a solemn and grand manner, exuding an air of reverence at first glance. Kai Lin? Xiao Yan turned slightly and looked at the enchanting woman. He couldn't help but feel pleased. Xiao and Xiao Lin have been in closed-door cultivation recently, so it's normal that you haven't seen them. As for my father and teacher, they've grown accustomed to the life in the Doqi continent and have stayed below. If you have time, we can go visit them together. I've already sent enough strong people, so you don't need to worry about safety. Seeing Xiao Yan's slightly melancholic expression, Kai Lin shook her head, fully understanding his concerns. My father and Elder Yao. Xiao Yan couldn't help but be moved. By the way, what's going on with the Great Thousand Alliance? After hearing these reassuring words, Xiao Yan asked. Now that there were no more concerns, it was time to proceed with the Plane Conference to prevent another great war of heaven and earth. The Great Thousand Alliance is the largest organization in the center of the human realm. It encompasses countless powerful experts and heroes. The domain lord of the mystic region, Xuan Wuji, who initially attacked our Boundless Fire Domain, was a member of the Great Thousand Alliance's demon-slaying generals. The purpose of the Great Thousand Alliance is to deal with the extraterritorial evil races. To join, one must kill a powerful extraterritorial evil race member to prove their strength. The benefits of joining are unimaginable for ordinary people, with access to rare resources, information, and more. Anything you can think of can be found in the Great Thousand Alliance. In the Great Thousand Alliance, positions are divided into 3 categories, aside from the elders who handle daily affairs and require special intelligence and other assessments. These 3 positions are the Demon-Slaying General, Demon-Slaying Commander, and Demon-Slaying King. To become a Demon-Slaying General, one must kill a King-tier extraterritorial evil race member. To become a Demon-Slaying Commander, one must kill 3 or more Black King-tier experts. Kai Lin patiently explained as she stood beside Xiao Yan. As the matriarch of the Boundless Fire Domain, she was the backbone of the domain and knew much about such matters. What about the Demon-Slaying King? Hearing the first 2 titles, Xiao Yan asked about the last one. The position of demon-slaying king requires killing a Red King tier expert from the extraterritorial evil races. Red King tier experts are rare in these races, with only a few dozen, though it's uncertain if their numbers have increased recently. Kylin replied, "Are there any benefits to these positions of the demon-slaying general, commander, and king?" Hearing Kylin's explanation, Xiao Yan couldn't help but smile. While Red King tier experts from the extraterritorial evil races were indeed few, he was sure he had already killed at least one or two. The Great Thousand Alliance is the top power in the Great Thousand Worlds. Once you obtain one of these three positions, you can issue commands to other forces to do things that do not violate your moral beliefs. For example, you could jointly see something or team up to deal with the extraterritorial evil races. Tasks issued by a demon-slaying king cannot be refuted by those holding lower positions, such as demon-slaying commanders. There are also rumors in the Great Thousand Worlds that several fallen demon-slaying kings left behind numerous treasures scattered in various corners. If you could find them, it would likely be a great opportunity. Kylin spoke each word deliberately. That really is an excellent position. Xiao Yan couldn't help but feel a sense of delight. Take a look for yourself. Kylin finished speaking and handed the golden scroll from the Great Thousand Alliance to Xiao Yan. Respectful Domain Lord of the Boundless Fire Domain, I, Zhou Yuan, demon-slaying king of the Great Thousand Alliance, sincerely invite you to attend the Plane Conference. The grand characters appeared, followed by spatial coordinates and detailed locations. A demon-slaying king personally issued this? After reading the message in the scroll, Xiao Yan frowned. It seemed that this Plane Conference was not as simple as he had imagined. Since the establishment of the Great Thousand Alliance, only a handful of demon-slaying kings have appeared. These individuals are the top elites of the world, and it's said that they control immense resources. The demon-slaying king, Zhou Yuan, who issued this invitation, is rumored to be incredibly powerful. When it came to this point, Kylin wore an expression as if she wanted to say something but was hesitating, seemingly lost in thought. What's wrong? Xiao Yan noticed something was off and quickly asked. Zhou Yuan's strength, I've heard, has already reached the 4th-tier reincarnation stage. He once single-handedly infiltrated a royal family of the extraterritorial evil clan for the sake of his wife, slaying several kings and an evil disciple at the Red King level, which earned him his infamous reputation. However, based on the information we've received, this powerful being has already fallen thousands of years ago. Why would he reappear now? Moreover, why is he holding this plane meeting under the name of Zhou Yuan? Could there be something fishy going on here? Kylin's greatest concern lay here, her expression grave as she tried to find the connection between the two events. A dead man issuing information. Either he's been resurrected by special means, or someone with ulterior motives is behind it. It seems this plane meeting might not be simple after all. Xiao Yan nodded and lightly reached out toward Kylin. Seeing this, a trace of doubt flashed in her eyes. At this moment, was Xiao Yan still thinking about matters of the heart? Yet, Kylin did not resist. The two of them leaned close, gazing out from the matriarch hall, overlooking the vast Boundless Fire Domain. The once bustling matriarch hall was eerily quiet today, with no one in sight. They had seen the rise and fall of human affairs. Indeed, the saying was true. Spring's flourishing leaves no trace behind. The next day, the sunlight bathed the vast region of the Boundless Fire Domain. Xiao Yan and his group were already fully prepared. Today was the day they would depart for the Palace of the Great Thousand to attend the plane meeting, and there could be no room for error. For this plane meeting, Xun'er will accompany me. You all stay here to guard the place. I'm worried that some unlawful individuals might try to take advantage of an opening. Also, the extraterritorial evil clan has been unusually silent lately. I feel like they are deliberately retracting their power, perhaps plotting something. So, vigilance is paramount. This trip is also a good opportunity to see if we can help Xun'er break through to reincarnation. Additionally, Kylin, I'll leave the intelligence from the demon realm to you, and clan leader Soul. I'll rely on you for the Phoenix clan. Xiao Yan turned to address the others behind him, assigning tasks clearly and decisively. Everything was proceeding in an orderly fashion. Feng Wan'er, Xiao Gui, Hun Tianhao, and the others present were now among the most trusted in the Boundless Fire Domain. They were tasked with searching for major forces related to them, ready to act at the first sign of any disturbance. As for the Dragon Clan in Netherworld, Xiao Yan, to secure the victory, planned not to interfere until he was certain of his strength. After all, these matters concerned the entire Great Thousand World and couldn't be treated lightly. Currently, with his peak reincarnation strength still short of the first-tier reincarnation stage, his power wasn't enough to contend with top-tier forces. "We'll be waiting for your safe return, Domain Lord." Upon hearing Xiao Yan's words, everyone understood his implication and immediately smiled, sending the two of them off. "Let's go." Xiao Yan and Xun'er nodded to the group behind them, then joined hands and effortlessly stepped into the space-time wormhole, beginning their journey to the plane meeting. Boom! Atop an ethereal branch, a grand and magnificent palace appeared. The air around the palace was filled with an otherworldly, sacred aura, making the atmosphere here particularly solemn. The residence of the Great Thousand Alliance. Palace of the Great Thousand. The location of the Palace of the Great Thousand was highly significant. It stood at the center of the 7 major regions of the Great Thousand World, within a space known as the Heavenly Region. The energy of heaven and earth here was exceptionally dense, and beneath the space lay a vast ocean world. At the center of the ocean stood a towering tree, absorbing boundless energy, its leaves perpetually green, guarding the area. The renowned Palace of the Great Thousand stood atop this mighty tree. So this is the so-called Palace of the Great Thousand? Truly a majestic sight. 10 days later, Xiao Yan and Xun'er had crossed the space-time wormhole and arrived in the Heavenly Region. Looking down from above, they floated through the air, gazing at the deep ocean world beneath them. The clear and transparent waters seemed to harbor an invisible threat, a power that even made their souls shiver. "Do you too have an invitation from the Great Thousand Alliance?" Suddenly, from below in the ocean world, an elderly man dressed in fine robes appeared out of nowhere, smiling as he looked at Xiao Yan and Xun'er. "We're here by invitation to attend the plane meeting." Xiao Yan, upon seeing him, flicked the imperial flame ring on his finger, presenting the scroll issued by the Great Thousand Alliance to the elderly man. Identity confirmed, Domain Lord of the Boundless Fire Domain, Xiao Yan, and his matriarch, Xun'er. "Please, follow me." The Palace of the Great Thousand is located at the center of this ocean, but it's still a distance away. The elderly man took the scroll and, with a casual wave, 2 green leaves appeared under their feet. The 3 of them walked across the ocean's surface, heading toward the Palace of the Great Thousand. As soon as he moved, Xiao Yan's overwhelming soul power released a hint of vigilance, as if warning him that beneath the sea, some massive creature was lurking. "That's just the guardian beast of the Palace of the Great Thousand," the old man said. "It will act when the palace is in danger. Its strength has long since surpassed the 5th heavenly tribulation, making it a true heavenly beast." A smug smile appeared on the elder's face, but such guardians rarely make an appearance unless the palace is under a catastrophic threat. Whoosh! Whoosh! During the conversation, sparkling ripples began to appear across the surface of the sea, and clusters of gleaming water droplets floated in the air, bringing a sense of calm and joy. An hour later, a towering ancient tree, carved with countless ancient runes, appeared before the 3 of them, making the 2 others feel an overwhelming sense of insignificance. This is the Great Thousand Tree. Every time a calamity strikes the Great Thousand Worlds, it sends out a special warning to remind us to prepare. It was thanks to the Great Thousand Tree that the losses in the First Great Heavenly War were significantly reduced. The elder pointed at the ancient tree, which had endured endless years, his admiration clearly evident. "The Great Thousand Tree," Xiao Yan murmured, his voice filled with astonishment, impressed by the exquisite craftsmanship of nature. Moreover, this Great Thousand Tree probably had some form of intelligence, though it appeared to be in a dormant state now. The massive trunk and leaves of the Great Thousand Tree were covered with vibrant green life, and amid the vast life force, an ominous and terrifying energy seemed to flicker in and out. "What is this?" Xun'er's beautiful eyes blinked. She seemed to sense a dazzling energy radiating from the tree. "This should be a formation," Xiao Yan said with a frown. A formation of this level must be even stronger than the ancient formation of the desolate source I've encountered. This is the demon-slaying formation, personally set up by a lord of the demon-slaying kings. It is said that this formation consists of 500,000 formation inscriptions, and its power is something that even the heavens can witness. And the palace atop the Great Thousand Tree is the headquarters of our Great Thousand Alliance. A series of missions and intelligence flow from here. The elder nodded slowly and explained without reservation about the sea world of the heavenly domain and the Great Thousand Palace to Xiao Yan and Xun'er. Thank you, Senior, Xiao Yan nodded, though inwardly he was slightly surprised. These details were clearly not common knowledge, and many of them were core secrets of the Great Thousand Palace. How could this guy explain everything so openly to him? It seemed that the plain meeting was far from simple. Let's go. Once the powerful leaders of all the factions are gathered, the plain meeting will begin. Before that, a certain lord is specifically waiting for you. After the elder spoke, he took a step forward and instantly crossed through the demon-slaying formation. Let's go. Big brother Xiao Yan. Xun'er elegantly extended her hands and took Xiao Yan's, and together, they stepped forward. In the heavenly domain, the sea world, the Great Thousand Tree, and the demon-slaying formation, all of which protected the Great Thousand Palace, the defenses were as solid as could be. Such a force, even a Red King-level member of the extraterritorial evil clan, could not shake. This was the foundation of the Great Thousand Palace. After all, it was a massive organization that gathered countless powerful beings, and compared to other top factions, its nature was entirely different.